know, I would want to be somewhere where it's recorded too, or where I understand it's recorded.
True. But yeah, it's just like, shareable link. Okay, it's live.
Okay. I'm gonna go and post it on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I'm going to code retreat yesterday.
Let's see here.
I DM to you the link.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yes.
It'll be quicker.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. It's weird
Take your
seeing
time.
yourself on live. I just saw myself on live. I was like, oh my gosh. That is so weird.
I know. At times when I replay my own video, because I find the conversation is so interesting, and I was just like, this is weird. Like
like I'm just it just is so freaking like it's like oh god, like it's so weird because I barely ever watch playbacks of myself, like barely, very barely, yeah, barely, yeah.
It's just like, do I sound like that? Do I talk that way?
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I went ahead and shared it too.
Yeah. So yeah, like you ready?
Yeah, I'm completely ready.
Awesome. So yes, thank you for joining us if you are watching here live or replay. And like today we have Kaia.
Hi. Either or is honestly fine. I'm pretty much non-binary, and either or is fine with me.
I see. Because I saw that your profile, you wrote that you prefer to be Kai. So I was just like, okay.
Yeah. So Kai is totally fine.
Okay, so we have Kai here. So Kai, would you like to introduce yourself a little? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hi, so my name is Kai, and I am I believe, I guess I want to say spiritual influencer, but I would say more of like a reader on Twitter and Instagram. And I tend to channel messages from spirit or from the records from time to time. And I just love to share, when I'm, my own experiences and what I go through. But I also like to help people find their own soul's path. I love doing that.
Beautiful. I love that. I have been actually following Kai for a while, like, and I always been like, I would say that I think there's a tarot messages that you give for, certain signs and so on. I would just like, yeah, from time to time, I find myself resonating with them. I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually been following you for a while too. It's been, dang, how long has it been? It's been a long time now. It's been a very long time. And I've seen your growth and stuff like that. I'm just like, Jesus, like you're really going up there. I'm really happy for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we are one of the, like, you're one of the OGs.
Oh, man.
So. This new account. This is a new account for me.
Yeah.
I did have another account, but back in 2018, 2017.
Oh, okay.
I just deleted the whole thing. I'm just like, let's start over.
Yeah. Well, I understand that because I had to do that with my Twitter account too at one point. Because at one point it was just dedicated more to art. And then I had to revamp it and like dedicate it more to spirituality in 2020.
Awesome. So awesome. Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. And
of course.
Today we are going to talk about Akashic Records. I'm just like, where's the tea? Where's the tea, Kai? We're having tea.
Oh man, I wish I had some. I just have water. Like, I'll be telling people to drink water. I think tea is like spicy water though.
True. Yeah, I mean it's late for you, so I'm just like joking, you know.
Yeah, no, of course. I get it. I get it. I actually drink tea late at night too, though, at like
Mm.
1 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, wow. If I do so, I'm not sure. Maybe if it's chamomile tea or lavender tea, I can sleep. Otherwise, I'll be
Yeah, that's usually what I drink: chamomile or lavender.
relaxing for
Okay.
sleeping. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we are talking about the Akashic Records today.
Yes.
So yeah, like let's start with like how do we see the Akashic Records? Maybe yeah, Kai, you want to start?
Of course.
Is it
Um.
frozen over here?
It froze for. Oh, okay. It's starting back up again.
Okay, just give me a moment. I just
Yeah, no problem. Mm-mm. My body. Mm-mm. And like this. Okay.
okay. Yes. I switch it over to my mobile connection. It should be better. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like it's functioning a little better. So that's cool. I understand technology is weird. It's Mercury retrograde right now, so like everything's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah. And I notice sometimes is that when I'm talking to other people and
Mhm.
especially when we are both like high vibrational and
Mhm.
spiritual beings and the technology just zzz, zzz, we
Yeah.
can't handle all this vibration over here.
Yeah. No, that's actually happened to me multiple times. I'll talk to someone and I'll move their phone. Like their phone will like flip or like go somewhere and they'll be like, "Yo, can?" They're like, "Hey, can you like calm your energy?" And I was like, I'm just sitting here. I don't know what's going on."
Yeah, the phone is like too much vibration. Oops.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's
back
bring back
to
the
yeah.
topic.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
The Akash.
So yeah.
Mm,
So back to the records. The way I see the records is more so I don't okay, so there's been two instances of different types. And I don't know, maybe I was just in a different part of the records, but there's one part where it was a library full of books and the books were like floating and like there's like some flames and the flames were blue. It was weird. It was giving off like a bluish vibe to it, blue like turquoise, and it was very vast. It was very big. There was parts of it that were very old, and then there was parts of it that were more like new. So I guess because it was like new recorded history or something like that. And then there was another part of the records. I'm not sure which part that was, but it looked if you actually went into a computer like because I saw data line streams, and then the data line streams they that's if you touch a line you can get information like that too. So I saw the records like that as well, and it was in a dream, and I just thought that was super weird because I was taken there by my higher self, and my higher
mm,
self looked like, you know how in the Avatar, like how his
mm,
higher self looked. That's how my higher self looked. My higher self looked gigantic, and
mm,
yeah, like they took me to the records, and I just thought that was weird because I've never seen it like that either. Usually people say it's a library, but
mm,
that one was really weird. It looked like a bunch of internet cords, but it was really beautiful. It was really white there,
mm.
very like mystical. Like it was just super weird, but I didn't know how to feel about that one.
Wow. I love how you see them, like, because I do believe that visually people do kind of like interpret the records a bit different.
Yeah.
Um, they ever mentioned to me is that the way they appear to me is how comfortable it's like to make us comfortable. It's
Hmm.
like, yeah. For me, the way I see the records is like if I seeing it, it's like a whole nature. It's like Mother Earth over there. It's like there's a stream, there's waterfall, there are trees, and I'm just like, this is the Akashic Records.
That's amazing too, though. I really
Yeah.
feel that. Like, I did hear some people say they see like an oasis in the
Mm-hmm.
records, or when they're near the records, or when they're in the records, they see forest and trees. Like my partner says that she sees it like that. But I think it's because she's very connected um to planets. Like she's very connected to like nature. A little more than I am. I'm connected to nature too, but she's very much like a medicine woman. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. For me, I'm just finding that more like a safe space, like library.
Hmm.
For Capricorn, library kind of stress me out.
Oh, I understand. Like I know some people that really don't like libraries. They're just like, yeah, nah. And I'm like, what? They're fine. They're books. It's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot of. It's just a lot.
I love books. I ever been in the bookstore. I work in a bookstore. I love library, but when I'm in the library, I feel like I have to read every single thing. I was just like, I need to
Oh.
read. That's
No,
stress.
that makes sense. No, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. I was like, oh no, it's because you wanna read everything. You can't pinpoint. You're just like, no, let me just pick up every book and just
Yeah,
have a whole shelf, whole thing full of books. Yeah, I know a couple people like that.
yeah. I'm really much. I love to learn on my pace. That's why when I go into a library, oof, you will see that learn on my pace, meaning that I pick up 10 other books and like it on a table. Can I read them within 1 hour?
That's actually mad funny. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I honestly feel that. Especially if I used to go into bookstores and would read a lot of manga. I would like, because I used to just go in the manga section and just pick up a stack, usually from a series, and then be like, I'll just read it. And then like, oh, you're not gonna buy nothing? No, I'm just gonna read this like here. Like, I'll read it. If I really like it, then I'll take it home. But I'm just gonna read it like here. Like, so I feel that.
Yeah, I feel that too. Like bookstore girl. I have tons of books at home that I haven't read, but I just pick it up because I want to read.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I think because how crazy I get when I see books. So the Akasha Records is just like, let's don't give her a library. Otherwise she will go crazy.
No, yeah. No, but that actually makes sense because for you and for other people that see the Akashic records is because they want you to receive the information, but if you're too stressed, you're not going to be able to receive it. So I completely
Exactly.
for me, I'm totally fine being in in a library and stuff, just chilling. But I know other people, they get stressed over that. So it's just like, it's I completely understand that. We all have different mindsets, and we're all different people. So, of
Mm,
course, all the records are gonna be it's like the same understanding, but it's just
mm.
might be painted in a different picture. So I completely
Exactly.
get that.
Exactly. I love that. I love how you put that. It's just like, yeah. And also I believe that it's not often being talked about, but just to like let everyone who are new to the Akasha records know that you can tell the records if you want to redefine your, the look of the records. Like if you do not like the library you see, you can tell the records, let's redesign it. If you want to make it like a library on the cloud, like I have a friend, a
Hmm.
client who was saying that her library is in the cloud. So it's just like
Oh, that's
where,
awesome.
yeah,
That
she
is
you
so
can
awesome.
design it. Yeah, redefine it. Just talk to your keepers, or just visualize like, I want to change this. Yeah,
You know
it
what?
works.
That makes a lot of sense though, because with my records, it's a library, but it's a library on a pool of water. It's a library on a pool of water, and it has a couch. And I like comfort. I'm very much a comfort person, so I like to sit somewhere comfortable.
Mm,
Um, the floor is stone, and like literally the pool of water looks like something out of Spirited Away and things of that nature. So I that's how I designed it in my head, but I know other people have different designs of it. And I feel like yeah, like like if you're not fully comfortable in the records,
mm.
just ask them to change it. Ask them, "Hey, I would like it to be red," or "I would like it to be yellow," or I want some wood furniture or something like that. I think it's completely fine. They're just more here to give you an answer, and it's okay if you're like, yeah,
Yeah, and as long as you are comfortable, you can receive better. You can be more open to receive the information, which they
exactly,
really want. Like they rather you be comfortable receiving than they giving you the, whatever
yeah.
information. You just like half receiving because you're either stressed out or you're not comfortable or something like that.
Right, because I feel like some truths are very hard to handle. Like I've even had a few experiences like that already in the records where it's just like, oh man, that's really hard truth. And it's like we would rather you be comfortable already instead of you being
Mm,
uncomfortable and then you get an uncomfortable truth. Because the truth is not always comfortable. So they're just like, look, it's not always going to be rainbows. So that's why we need you to be grounded as much as possible, because
mm,
otherwise you're not going to be able to handle the truth as much as you want.
mm. I do think this could be playing into how, they want us to be comfortable physically as well. And
Yeah.
hence they'll be like, yeah, you should take care of your body first before you come and access to us.
Yep.
You know, don't stress yourself too much. Not just stressing, but also like don't push yourself or tire yourself up too much.
Yep.
And get enough sleep, get enough water. My records always like nagging me, are you drinking water? Are you go to sleep? Get some rest. I'm just like, but I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to
I
know
want to.
this.
I'll get it. Well, after I get this information, it's like, nah, you go now. Like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
my keeper's the
that's what.
same. Yeah, my keeper's the same, and it's so funny because on my page, it's like my whole thing is drink water, drink water, drink water, and I'm like, no, for real, because it's like I've been told to drink water so many times by my reaper because I will literally go a while without drinking water because I'm so busy. And being in the records, you cannot be dehydrated like at all. Like you'll feel even more tired in the
Yes.
record, and then everything will become very skewed, and then you have to restart because you're not taking
Mm,
care of yourself. So that's actually something I learned when I
mm,
was taking a Akashic Records class with Denise. She was
mm.
like, you really got to take care of your body. So, and I really felt it. I was like, yeah, you really do. You cannot play like with your body because your body's a vessel. You have to
Yes.
take care of it while it's here and functioning.
Yes. Yeah. Because they'd be like, I got nagged so much by my guides, my higher self. This is a 2 liter bottle I just recently bought.
Whoa.
Be like, okay, now you can drink. Happy.
I'm like, oh, that's a 2 liter. Like that's how I was like that when you were drinking it. I was like, dang, that thing is big. Like, Lord, I usually just have like a 16 ounce or a
Uh,
32 ounce like bottle. Like usually that's for me, but 2 liters, yeah, that'll get you through the day. Like,
yeah, it's true today because for me, I have this laziness that when I'm working, I'm just like with my laptop on my lap and then I'm not moving. I'm working and I feel thirsty and my water get runs out. I'll just sit there. I'll just like, hold on, let me finish this. And let me finish this could mean 1 hour or 2 hour or 3 hours.
oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time. It happened today, kind of. I was doing stuff, and then I was like, okay, I need water. But then I was like, okay, I got to do this though. But I need water. So which one is it? And I'm like, I have so much Capricorn in me. Oh my gosh. So I just want to work all the time. And that's not healthy. And I'm like, oh no, I got to go drink water.
Yeah. This is the solution for me. Just get a whole bottle beside you. You won't get run out. You won't run out of water.
Yeah. For real. I need like several of those. Like, be fully hydrated all the time. No dehydration.
No dehydration because it does when dehydration it does I'll say kind of like making us hard to not just receive information but also it's hard for us to think because your body is like focusing on like, hey, I need water, and the brain is like, I need water. That sentence kind of like interrupting your message it received,
And
or
yeah.
it interrupts your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's very hard. It's so weird because I feel like I'm going into like a mental weirdness,
Mm,
or anything like that. Like I'm having an episode, and it's not even
mm.
that. I'm just dehydrated, and then I'll have water, and I'm literally fine. I'm like, oh god, I was just dehydrated, and I'll literally go through like cycles of that, of like periods where I think it's something when it's really just dehydration. And I realize a lot of people go through that. Like I know so many people that don't regularly drink water. Um
Mm.
and I'm just once they started drinking more water, they
Mm.
actually felt much better in general, about themselves or about life and things of that nature. And I'm like, yeah, because water's a life source.
Yes. Yeah, physically too, that you can feel much better. Like, yeah, my skin actually looks way better. Like now I drink
Yeah.
enough water, rather than before. Like this is one of the, beauty 101.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Yeah, pretty much. Just drink water. It's not
Mm.
hard. Even if it's like something small, just drink it because it'll just make you feel better. It's like,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah. I also find that the event that when I drink water and just right after that, bam, it's like download. And I was just like,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. That happens to me too. All the time. It's just like
Yeah.
everything clears. I feel like it's weird because I feel like it affects my eyeballs. Like I feel like it's like I drink water and my eyeballs feel better. Like it's so weird. It's like if they feel more like focused, if that makes sense. So I wonder
The
if
sound.
it yeah, especially since I deal with clairvoyancy mostly. Clairvoyancy and claircognizance. So, I usually either just know stuff, like something will just happen and I'll know it, or I'll see it in a vision. And I kind of need water for that. So like, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Channeling a lot of energy. You can see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm? Yes.
I was like, oh yeah, like yeah. I try to cleanse myself each day though because it can be a lot, but that's why I take breaks on Twitter from time to time. Like I'll take
Mm.
like a few days off. Like this weekend, I'm not gonna be on Twitter too much just because I'm gonna go visit someone and like just I like to go hang out with people every so often.
Mm.
And for a while I wasn't hanging out with anyone. Not because I don't like people, just because sorry, I had to plug in my laptop. Just
No
because of
worries.
the fact that it was a sickness, pandemic going on. And I
Mm.
just I was like, hey, look, I have a whole baby nephew, and I'm like, I'm not really trying to
Mm.
take anything to him or get his mother sick 'cause his mother's my sister, and she's
Mm.
about to graduate high school, and I'm super happy for her. So I'm just been trying to be very careful around people, but I'm super excited to finally venture out and go live in a cave and stuff.
Live in a cave. That's a good. Um, like for me, I'm like staying at home as well. I'm not going out because of the pandemic as well.
Hmm.
Things get very serious over here.
Yeah.
Since the I think since there's this Hari Raya and there's a lot of
Oh.
celebration going on. So right now the cases are just like bam bam. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm really sorry. I hope it gets better though. It's like weird because it's getting I don't know like it's getting worse here. But it's like it's the pandemic, but it's also like a lot of political stuff that's happening here. I don't know if you've heard about anything, but it's just like there's a lot of just political stuff going on, and I'm just like, yeah, let me just try to figure out if I can move to a different country because this ain't it. Like this is not it. Like I do not like it here. I don't feel at home here, you know, at all. But I can't move to Hawaii either because they're so gentrified over there too, because I'm part Hawaiian, and so
Mm.
that place is very much home to me, but it's really expensive, which is why my
Yeah.
grandma moved from there. So, but
Sending you
yeah,
lots of hugs. And I hope
hugs.
you find a place that you love and you can move over to there. Yeah.
Yeah, same. But also same for you. I hope that I hope everything else is okay over there. It gets better. The cases go down, things of that nature, because that's really important. I just want this whole thing to go away. I really do. Like, it's just messing up a bunch of stuff.
I know. Yeah. Uh, but don't worry about me. I'm just staying like,
Yeah.
staying off the grid, kind of like off the grid in my own corner.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm even like sometimes I don't even want to go down and pick up my parcels because I'm just like that means I'm going to see people.
Oh man, like I feel that completely. I be trying not to go to the mailbox. Like, I'm like I don't even want to go there. There's always someone there, and they always be trying to talk. But I get it because people don't talk to people anymore. So a lot of people are like more desperate or more wanting companionship. I learned
Yep.
that from the records. I was learning a couple things from the like records too, because I had such a problem with religion for
Uh,
so long, and it's just because I was raised in the way they were trying to teach religion in general. But my records were
mm,
telling me, that my keeper, they were
mm,
literally like, "There's nothing wrong with religion. It's the way you use it." And I was just like, "Oh, you know what? That does make sense." I was like, "That makes a lot of sense," because I know people who are religious and they're really nice, really beautiful people. But I also know people who are religious who are just really crazy. So there was like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the religion. It's more just the way they interpret it, and then the
mm,
way they use it.
yeah.
Because if they
It's
use
the-
it for hate, then yeah,
mm. I would say it's the same for spirituality and everything else. If
yeah,
the person is using spirituality for, for self-development, for helping others, versus people who using spirituality for another purpose. We see a lot
yeah,
like on the
yeah,
community.
yeah. We do, we really do. I see a lot there on YouTube. YouTube is interesting. Like I'll see stuff that I'm like, oh, okay, this resonates, and I'll see other stuff that's like really like just off, and I'm just like, that sounds like more like an opinion than like a fact. And so I think that's also what we get skewed when it comes to spirituality as well. Is like we'll try to inject our own opinions into,
Mm,
not all of us, of course, but some of us do, and then we'll say it's based in fact, or like spirit told me this, and I'm just like, well, it could just be your opinion, because someone else's opinion could be their right as well. Like not everybody's right is the correct right. That's also what
mm,
I learned from the records as well. Like everybody, well, I already knew that, but they kind of solidified it for me,
mm.
that everybody's version of right and wrong is not everybody's version. It's not always the same. I've been learning a lot from them.
They, I don't want to call them my teachers, but they actually teaches me a lot as well. And same as you, I learn a lot about, the view of like right or wrong, or just like different perspective. Like
Yeah.
they literally give me you know, a perspective on, how people can have different perspective. They're like giving a
Mm,
sample, saying that if there is a garden in the center, but there is the garden is like separated by like four parts.
yeah.
Okay, on each part they plant like a certain flowers. So there is only one house like facing one part of the garden.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a scenario to set up. So
Yeah.
the person looking at house, like say the house at the south, they won't understand like the what the kind of flower that the owner of the house of the north can see, because it's different.
Mm, right. Yeah, that's a really good perspective. Yeah, that really is. And I really like that they gave you an example too.
Yeah.
I hope they do that with others. Usually they do that with me too. They'll give me like, they'll tell me something, and then they'll
Mm,
usually, if I don't understand it, they'll give me an even further an example.
yeah.
Usually they'll pull out a book, and it's like a story, and
Mm,
they'll read an interp of the story, and they'll explain it through that. And now I'm like, oh, or they'll help me, they'll just make me go in the story and become the main character, because I've done that before too, where I literally
mm,
went in one of the books, and because they said look at this page and then go in the story, and I'm like, okay, and they'll
mhm,
show me it, because I have to learn almost through experience. um and so for them,
mm,
they're like, since you learn through experience, you're going to experience it. So sometimes I'll be in the records for like a while, because I'll just be just in there experiencing stuff.
mm,
And, I try not to leave until I fully am actually done with everything. Like I try not to leave prematurely either, because a lot of
mm.
times, sometimes they'll try to tell you other stuff as well, I realize.
Yeah. For me, it's a bit different, but I think because we are both are like interpreting differently. So
Hmm.
for me, if they're showing the pictures, I still don't get it, or if they don't have like if they don't have a picture to show me or something, they'll be like, go watch a movie. They will point me like, go watch this movie or go watch that
Yeah.
show. I was just like,
Oh yeah, they've done that with me too. um there was one time I was watching Brokeback Mountain. And I
Mm.
kept I was like, why they kept making me watch it because I wasn't getting it. Like, and I was like, what? Why am I watching something about gay cowboys? Like in the 60s or the 50s or something. Like, what's up? Like, what is going? What am I not seeing? And it was because it was pretty much about authenticity and being yourself, even if other people don't necessarily like it. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. But also being yourself with the person you love, because that was
Mm.
their whole story. Was one of them was trying to force a narrative of
Mm.
like, I'm not this, I'm not that, but he
Mm.
was. And then the other one was being his true self, but he still got murdered, unfortunately, because he was himself. So I realized that it's better to be happy and be yourself, and it's to be miserable and like just living a lie. Because unfortunately, even though the one of them died, the other one was hurting. Like, he was so traumatized by it because he never was able to just be truly happy with his partner. And I got that after like the fourth time. It took me forever because I was just so enthralled with the story, but I really had to sit there and really like pay attention. And it was very deep. Like, it's a very deep story, and I feel like it's a very truthful story because um especially for people who are LGBT in
Mm.
the Americas, it can be very difficult, especially back then in the 1900s. Lord, like they really did get like straight up murdered. I mean, we still do, especially trans people, but it's a little better now. It's a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, they told me to watch that so many times, and I was like, I don't, I do not understand like what you're doing.
Yeah, I feel that they always like point out the movies. Sometimes I even go and revisit like old movies because they'll be like,
Yeah,
"There's message there, so you didn't notice that back then. Now you can watch it and you can understand it." And I'm just like, yeah, I really remember the time that they just like go watch a Matrix, and I was just like, when I watch Matrix, my mind is blown, and I was just like, okay.
yeah. That is one of those movies where I will tell people you got to watch it because it's like it's like an unlocking of your mind in the sense. But I also heard that it was like how trans people experience life as well. And I said, that actually makes sense too. I feel like it's a bit of both. Like, it's a bit of like you understanding that this
Mm.
world is not real, but it can be
Mm.
as real as you want it to be. And also to understand every someone else's perspective on life as well. I definitely feel like it's a bit of both.
That is very interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll go and rewatch that and reaffirm that kind of message for myself.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, the Matrix is really great.
It is. Yeah.
What is I actually want to ask you a question.
Yes.
If you can answer, but
Mm.
what is an experience you've had that you felt blew your mind when it came to the records?
When it came to the records, it blew my mind. Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I think for me is that like that really makes me believe in myself by showing me how capable I am. I think that is that literally that was one time that was before I even like really connect to the records. I literally just meditating, and I was just like meditating. I was quite new to spirituality back then, and then I got set out and being brought back to a past life, which was a
Mm.
Lemuria past life. And I was talking to my past life self. We are just chatting over there, and she was like showing me like what is her gift, and then she go and check out what is my gift. Yeah, and telling me that, oh, you're kind of like a psychic kind of healer. I was like, okay. Back then I didn't even believe in myself. But the reality of that is so real. Is where is kind of like a hyper reality where everything is just so sharp that I was very certain of my the Lemuria life.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it confirmed later when I was like in my records, they are like, yes, you met your past life Lemuria self, and that you had a life in Lemuria. I was just like,
Wow. I really
yeah.
love that though, because it's just like you were able to like really connect with your past life. Especially on Lemuria. Like that's really interesting too, you know, like and I've met you and a couple other people that had
Mm,
lives from there, and I just thought that was super interesting. Just because of the fact that I don't really get to meet many people that are from there or that are have past lives from there as well. But for you to be able to talk to them and then they show you that and tell you that
mm.
stuff and then you're just like, eh, but like looking at you now, you're just like, oh my god, they're right.
I was like, I didn't even relate the two things until the records just point out. It's like, hey, that time you talked to your past life self, you didn't believe in what you can do. Like, look at you now. I was just like,
and,
okay.
and I just think that's so wonderful. I really do because I love when people connect with their past lives because it really can show a door that you might not have even known, like hidden gifts, hidden talents, all that. Like it can really show you what you can be so capable of. And but some, I know a lot of people can't always access it because
Mm,
it might be a little hard. But I feel like over time, it's just like with practice and things of that
yes.
nature. Like for me, like it's really easy for me to access past lives, but I've actually it's so weird because my one of my most mind blowing experiences was not even from a past life; it was from a future self. And this was like
Mm,
last year when I experienced this. And you know, I've actually been able to access the records for a while. I just never got. I wanted to get like more official with
mm,
it, which is why I took a class because I was like, I need
mm,
to make sure that I'm doing things right because I've been in it for so long.
mm,
Because they showed me themselves to me, and they were like,
mm,
"Yeah, come on, like come, you know, like we'll teach you stuff." But then I was like, "Nah, I feel like I need official training when it comes to this." But yeah, like my future self came to me. It was in a dream, and it was so crazy because I'm kind of becoming that person. They're non-binary. Back then, I was not trans yet. I didn't come out as trans. I still was still figuring myself out. So when they
mm,
came to me, they were very much more in very way more androgynous, way more. And I was like, whoa, you're me from the future. And they had it's so funny because you know my hair's like dreaded up right now. It has
mm,
like faux locks, but
mm.
they're locks for real. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna dread my hair, and they look really good. They were wearing leather, and like their pants were leather, but they had like an open shirt kind
Mm,
of. And I was like wondering, I think honestly, I'm starting to think they had top shirt surgery
mm,
um because they were much smaller,
mm,
and I'm pretty curvy, so I was just like,
mm,
this is so different. Like, you're so different. And then we actually sat in a cafe
mm,
and together, and we were just talking, and I was like, yo, like, who are you? And they're like, I'm you from the future because I want to explain some stuff. And they said, you're going to end up with this person, and you're going to have this amount of kids with them, and you're going to be teaching kids spirituality, which is funny because I actually want to do that. I didn't know what I want to do, but I actually wanted to do that. And they said, yeah, you're going to teach kids spirituality with them, and you're going to be like pretty much like a superstar over time. And I was just like, but this was like when like what I think this was like in April of last year.
mm.
And I was still
Oh,
like, yeah, I was still trying to find myself. Still wasn't sure of my path at all back then. Like I was just trying out the spirituality thing because I was really good at it and I love to help people, but I still wasn't sure of myself. And they made me seeing that, you know, that person in April 2020 to now, I'm like, okay, I see it now. I see it more because the more I grow, the more I'm like, I actually get what they were talking about, like I actually understand it. And so with the records, they actually confirm that, yeah, that was like your future self. And the thing with your future self and your past self, people think that, you know, your past self is the only one that can help you when your future self can influence you the same way because time is not linear. Time happens all the time. So when they're explaining that to me, I was like, you know what, that makes sense. Because I get what is it, advice from my past lives all the time, you know, like they'll help me, but future selves, it's like what like, and it was just crazy because I really believe them and stuff, and it's just I'm starting to see things unfold more as I go along, and I'm like, I get it. And also my records have never been wrong. My keeper, they have never steered me wrong at all. They've been so right about things that I had no idea about. Oh my gosh, there was something that happened today, and they told me to wait on something because something was going to happen like in the next few days, and I was like,
Mm.
okay, and it happened today, and I was like so shocked. I was like, what? I was just like, what? That's what you were talking about? They were like, yes, it's exactly what you were talking about, and I was like, they've never been wrong.
Yeah, like they really just been looking out for us,
Hmm.
and at the same like I totally agree with the timeline thing, which like time is not linear, and I believe that they literally see across the time, like everything, like they know, so that they sometimes like give us hint, like you should do this and this and this. If you do not want to listen, well, that is on your call.
Yeah, no, they're very much like that because there was something that I didn't do once, but it's because I was being stubborn. I try not to be so stubborn anymore because they're so right. They really are. They A lot of the stuff they told me, my mentor told me, because my mentor is really, I think actually she's in the records a lot too.
Mm,
But she's spiritual without like crystals and like sage and stuff like that. Like she's just spiritual. She's just like like a regular person that understands the metaphysical. And so a lot of the stuff that she told me like months ago, I confirmed in
mm.
the records, and they were like, "Oh no, yeah, you should probably listen to her more." And I was like, "Dang, I really should." Y'all right. Y'all really right though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, my records literally stir me to move back here to Malaysia. Like last year I was in Japan. The thing is that the house in Japan and the house here, both of them like intuitively like they led me to this, and I was
Mhm.
just like, there's really no better place than this. Like it's just yes.
And I'm really happy about that for you, for real, because it's just like, especially if they're telling you like to leave and go somewhere else because you'll feel more comfortable there, or you feel like more yourself. Because I do feel like when you're in a place where you really don't want to be there, like it
Mm,
definitely affects your mood or your environment. Like if you're not truly happy, it does like affect you over time. And I feel like it
yes.
also affects your intuition too. I'm planning to move very soon too,
Mm,
and like to because I'm in North Carolina, and I'm planning to move to just a different part of North Carolina to save up more money,
mm,
and then I'll probably move out the country because like this country's kind of going downhill a little bit. So
I
I
feel
was
that.
I was just like, yeah, something's pushing me to just move because for a while, my records even told me that you're not going to really feel comfortable anywhere in this country, and I was just like, that's like a really hard pill to swallow. And they were like, yeah, we know, but that's because it's like you're not really supposed to be here. You're not
Mm,
supposed to be here like for the rest of your life because you this is not who you can truly be. You can't truly be yourself here. Which is
mm,
funny. But it's like, yeah, like to be my truest self, um, without repercussions, I feel like I would have to like move somewhere else that was more off grid. I do want to be more off grid at one point. Yeah, like just
mm,
save up a bunch of money and just live on the land and stuff like that because I feel like I feel like that's would be more tapping into the roots of yourself is living off on land. And, like my family, especially my Hawaiian side, they're artisans. And my grandmother, she's really good at gardening and making furniture and making all types. Like she's really good with her hands. And I have the same power in my hands. So I want to help the world by like rebuilding and stuff like that.
mm.
But it's hard.
I know, but you have got this.
Yeah. which
Yeah.
is why I tell people to drink water.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just like when I listen to you, I just feel like yes, the records always, like it just feels so often, even through my session with my clients and so on, they just try to guide us back to the roots of who we were before all the influences, all the all the education we receive, all the programming. That is the root of that we are meant to be that. In this life, we kind of like we chose to be that, but because of all the programming, we kind of like forget about that, or sometimes we just
Yeah,
kind of like threw that away because we feel like that doesn't fit into this world and that we want to fit in. Yeah, I find that records do guide us back to that. Like that is their main goal, kind of like, at least for me, I feel so.
yeah. No, no, no. I actually agree with that. Like every person that I know has entered the records and been listening, I feel like they've been getting pulled back to understanding the earth and trying to be more like take care of the earth because it is dying. So it's just like a lot of people I know they want to take care of the earth. And actually I know a lot of people that are actually getting more into plant medicine.
Hmm?
Um like plant medicine.
Ah.
Yeah, not necessarily like shrooms or anything like
Mm,
that. More like
mm,
ginger, like
mm,
stuff like that, like ginger, ashwagandha, like things like ginkgo roots, stuff like that. Like a lot
mm,
of people I know have been getting more into like herbs that are good for the body and good for the mind because many of us are tired of eating processed foods, I guess. So yeah, I realized actually the more I go into the records, the harder it is to eat processed foods. It's just it's really getting to that point. I'm so stubborn because I'm like, oh, it's cheap. I'll just eat something cheap, and they're like, yeah, but it's not healthy, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's crap. It's like eating trash. It's like there's this episode of SpongeBob where they took
mm.
garbage. There was an automator. They took garbage, they made it into the shape of a hamburger, and then they spray painted the hamburger to make it look like a hamburger. And the people were eating it. And I was like, they didn't even know it was trash until someone said it was trash. He was like, this is garbage. And they were like, what? It's garbage? And then they looked at it and then they threw up and went away. And I was like, yo, this is literally like what's going on. Like stuff on a conveyor belt, like just getting spray painted.
Yeah, I feel that so much. Personally, I can't really eat. Are you there? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I find myself unable to eat fast food, or all those processed food, especially fast food. I think about 8 years ago, I was just like, every time I have a burger with fries, and then the next day my throat start hurting.
Yeah, same. No, literally same. It's like I get acid reflux if I'll eat like crap, and then it literally hurts my throat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's kind of like blocking my throat right now, and then it's so hard to like do certain things and stuff like that, and I'm like, God, this is so painful, but which is why like they were just like, yeah, because you're not supposed to be eating that. No one is. It's not just you. It's like everyone. No one's supposed to be eating this type of stuff because it's not good for you, like at all.
The records delivering the harsh truth. Like, you know what? We said this.
No, for real. But for me, because I have to experience stuff, they'll let me experience it and then they'll explain to me why. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it was because of that. And they're like, yeah, like because they said, we're not trying to make you learn a truth the hard way, but if you're going to be stubborn about it, you're going to learn the truth the hard way. So, and then, yeah. So I
That's right.
barely eat fast food, barely, like it's very, very rare nowadays.
Mm.
Just because of the fact that it's just not good for my throat. And honestly, it's really weird because I feel like it actually blocks my intuition. Like it gets almost super cloudy or foggy up there. Like after I eat something, it'll get like it's like a fog kind of covers my head, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like it's hard to see shit.
Interesting. Hmm. yeah, I never experienced that, so I was just like interesting. But perhaps we just like, we have different ways of interpreting the records as well. As you mentioned, you kind of like clairvoyant and claircognizant, so maybe you feel that more compared to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I'm more like a clairsentience when I'm in the
Oh,
record,
okay. Yeah.
so it's just like different
No, that makes
way.
sense. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. For me, I've been working on my clairsentience.
Mm.
It's not even like I can't feel it. I can. It's just I have to listen. That's the main thing. It's like I have to listen because I'll feel it and I'll be like, nah. And I'm like, and then I'll feel it again. Like, nah. But I've been listening way, way more just because of the fact that I'm like, look, I kind of need to listen. And they're just like, my Reaper's like, I'm not gonna get mad if you don't. Like, I'm really not. I'm not gonna get mad if you do. It's up to you. This is your choice. This is your body. And my Reaper is very much like that. They're just like, this is your choice. And this is your body. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna give you this information, and you do with it what you want because it's your body. And I'm just like, dang, bruh. Okay, that's fair. Now my guides might my guides
Mm.
might get mad, but my Reaper is like, I'm just here to make sure you don't mess up too much in here while you're in here.
Yeah, that I think that is the keeper for most of everyone.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I even have keepers that be like, we don't have to give you the information, that you can just live the life like you want it. But when we give you information, it means that it kind of important that could affect your next, the next steps of your life. So
Yeah.
after we give you the information, what you do with it is up to you.
Like for real. Like actually, it's funny, they told me that too. They said, I remember it's funny because I'm talking to someone now, and then I was asking them, well, how long do you think this is gonna last? You know what I'm saying? And then they were like, it will last as long as you want it to. And I was like, you know what? That's a good answer. Cause like I was like, that's a good answer. They were like, it could last a little bit or it could last a while. This person's really important to me. And they told me, they confirmed it, that they are a very important person to me. And that's why I was asking, because I was like, I don't like bullshit nowadays. And they were like, no, like this person's gonna be is very important to you, but if y'all want to do this, it's up to you two, because of the fact that um you can't place expectation on this specific relationship or any relationship really, because
Mm,
it doesn't work out for me specifically. Anytime I
mm,
do that, it never works. And they say, yeah, because you cannot place expectations. You can have standards. They said standards, that's fine because you don't want to be treated like trash,
mm,
but don't place expectations because you're human in this lifetime. In this lifetime, you're human. You're playing a character that is human who has limitations. Even though the mind is not limited, your body is. So don't expect someone to always be the end, and beginning for you. Like no one's gonna be that for you. The only person that's
mm,
gonna be like that for you is you. And I said, you know what, that's very true. So I'm really happy about that because they've just been explaining that self love really is one of the ultimate gifts to yourself.
mm.
And the more and more I realize it, yeah, the more I realize I can honestly truly be alone and be fine. Companionship is nice, but it's not necessarily needed. But as humans, we're social creatures, so that's why we want companionship.
Yeah.
Whether it's from a person, like a human, or like a dog or something, like
Mm.
or a fish, like a pet or something like that.
Yeah, someone even go for like a plan if you want to. Yeah, there is also a companionship.
Yeah.
Yeah, a plan and so on. So okay, I was like, I was like, I have something when you're talking about the relationship thing. I was just like, I lost my thoughts.
Oh, okay. Because you seem like they want to ask the question.
Yeah, I lost my thoughts.
It's
So
okay.
it will come back if it's a line. So well,
Of course.
yeah. Would you like to discuss a bit more on like different clair senses in the records, like because
Yeah, that would be nice.
yeah, so
Um,
you are clairvoyant and claircognizant mainly,
yeah,
that
yeah.
is the strongest.
Yeah, those are my two strongest. My clairaudience has gotten better.
Mm,
My clairaudience has gotten much better, but the ones I
mm,
mainly use or that I've been used are clairvoyance, which is weird because clairvoyance actually kind of comes with the clairaudience because I'll see and hear, but and claircognizance because sometimes I'll just know, like I'll just get the answer but not necessarily hear it. But a lot of times, like I'll just get clairvoyancy. I'll just be in the records, just talking to my reaper. I'll literally see them and all that, and it's so funny because I remember I was in the class and one of my classmates was just like, "Oh my god, you can see them," and I was like, "Can you not?" And they were like, "No, not yet." And I'm like, "Oh right, crap, I forgot I'm clairvoyant." Like I was like, "Oh yeah, I mean yeah, I'm clairvoyant, so yeah, I can see them. It's okay if you can't though. I mean, it's okay. Not everybody's gonna be able to see their keeper."
mm,
But for me, my clairvoyancy is very strong. Like I'll be able to see, not their face, not their
mm,
face. I actually don't really want to, don't really care. But they wear a lot of
mm.
black. They wear a lot of black. They have like this smoky
Right.
ass, yeah, like looking like a, I don't even know. It's like some, if it's like reminds me of something in an anime, but I don't know. Like I was like, it's so funny, and I call them Reaper because they remind me of a Reaper, but like without the skeleton, I guess. So it's just a black cloak and they're just super like cool. And I'm like, yo, Reaper Keeper. And it's so funny because I was like, are you cool with that? And they were like, yeah, sure. Like that, that they didn't even like it for a while because I was like, I mean, I don't know who would want to be called Reaper. Like, but they were like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Being in the records and seeing it through my eyes, it's like seeing, understanding the, it's like looking at a movie, but you're like in the movie, and it's that's how I see it. It's like you're in a movie, and it's so funny because that's how I actually see a lot of people's past lives. I will literally tell people, like I literally go into the records, and I'll
Mm,
literally go into their movie theater. I'll have a little movie theater, and I have a reel, and I'll put your past life in, and I'll get popcorn in in the records, and I'll just sit there and watch your past life, and I'll be like, oh man, don't go in there, you're gonna die. Like, I really be talking to the real like, but sometimes I'll actually also experience it. But usually it's mine, it's my own now experience. But yeah, usually I'll see it like a movie, or it'll be like a scroll. They'll give me a scroll to look at or a book. But usually it's like a movie because I love videos. I'm a visual, such a visual person that I'm like, I
mm.
need actions. I need actions. I need drama. What genre is this? Is this horror? Like,
What genre is it? I love this. I love how you're like you're making it so much fun. Like, oh my god, with popcorns even.
thank you. Um,
Yeah.
and so that's the clairvoyancy part. Claircognizance usually happens if I need an answer, but I'm not like trying to be in there for a long time. Like it's something like not like a quick in and out, but like, like just like a small answer. Not even like a big one usually. It's usually like something small, like a confirmation that I already know.
Mm,
And usually I'll just get it. Like just boop. I usually try to have of course, have my palms up, stuff like that.
mm,
So I just tell them, hey, I'm open to receiving, and then I'll get it just like in my head. It's not like it comes from anyone's voice, but I know
mm,
it's the records because I can feel it in my heart. When it's my own intuition, it's in my mind completely. But in my the records, it's just straight up in my heart, and it's like a big energy field. I'm like, oh God, okay. And then that's how I can tell the difference. And I tell other people that like that's like the main difference that you will feel. It's usually a difference between crown and heart
mm,
and things of that nature, your third eye, because
mm,
intuition is mainly just here. It's like I
mm,
don't necessarily feel it in my heart unless it does affect me deeper. But with the
mm,
records, it literally affects my soul. So, for me, it literally is like right in the center of my body that I feel it.
mm,
So yeah, that's kind of how I know that it's not just my intuition and it's actually the records as well. Because sometimes I get a little mixed up
Mm,
Um, and with my own intuition, my intuitions can be weird when you're trying to intuitively pick up something on yourself.
mm,
Um, but the records
definitely.
very much confirm it. Um, once you like settle down and actually like can understand it. But how is it for you though?
I feel that for me, let's start with the intuition part. I feel like for me, the intuition for me is more like I feel something. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I just kind of like I can't even explain it. It's just kind of like when I look at something, I feel something, and then I just like, oh, that is
Mm-hmm.
what it is.
Like
For the record, mm,
I was gonna
yeah,
ask you, do you feel like you vibrate, or do you feel
mm,
like a slight tinkle or something?
sometimes that, but sometimes it's like the aha also.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the aha, but it's like I feel the intuition in my body, like aha, but it's in the
Oh, okay. No, that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. When the records come to me, it's more like on the top, there is the crown downloading down to
Mm-hmm.
the third line, and I just like, oh, okay, that is the information incoming.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially
So
when
I
it
kind
comes
of like
to.
the other way around. Yeah, but I do talk to them and they say that there are multiple ways of like accessing the records. So for me, mainly I just like because I got the like it's kind of like a link, okay, from
Mm-hmm.
crown to the eighth chakra and then all the way up. And then they're just like the information just come whoop down here, whoop down.
I love that. I think for me, it just like goes through my crown, but it hits my heart. And
Yeah.
though that makes sense though, because for me, like I feel things so deeply, so it's
Mhm.
just like they want me to make sure that I'm understanding that this feeling is like, the record's telling me something.
Mhm. Yeah. So when I'm in the records, I mainly use clairsentience as mentioned. Yeah. So I feel energy, and so at times it's like I feel things, and I would just like, hold on a minute, how do I explain this to a client? Hold on a minute, can you give me verbal of this? So clairaudience also come into play as well as some clairvoyance. Yeah.
Okay.
They don't kind of like don't dare to give me things claircognizant because I would just like, meh, that's
Yeah.
that's not they say that I doubt them too much when they give me claircognizant because I'll be like, I have this knowledge. I don't know where I know it, so I have to Google it.
But that makes a lot of sense. Like it really does why they chose to give you information in certain ways, because they're just like, we don't want you to like write it off. Like we want you to understand it and like
Yes,
sit
like
with it and stuff like that and process it. We don't want you to just be like, oh, I mean, it's there. It might not be there. It's like no, like it's there. Like
no. Yeah. So there are multiple times. I think currently they don't do that often anymore because I stopped Googling their information. But there were times that, whenever they drop me info and I start Googling them and then they'll be like, we give you a piece of divine information and you bring it up to Google.
oh my god.
Is that sarcasm there? I'm just like,
I stopped doing that too a while ago because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Usually they won't. They either don't know what it is, Google doesn't know what it is, or it's it's different information, like completely. And I was just like, okay, so I'll just stop like looking up stuff on Google because it's not going to work.
same. So I'm just like, okay, I trust you guys. I would just roll with it and see how it works.
Yep, you just gotta roll with it. You really do though. It's crazy. Like you just gotta trust them and understand that look, this might sound crazy, but it's not. It's not crazy. And it's gonna make sense. And usually it does make sense after a while. It's just like, oh, okay, because you start to either see stuff that makes it
Mm.
make sense, or you start to experience it, or you just start to believe it and then it starts to happen. So yeah, like they like again like I was saying, like they told me something would happen and I wasn't sure, not like because I didn't believe it, just because I just know how like everything is right now, and they were right and I was just like, wow. um I was super happy about it, but I was just like, I really need to listen. Like I was like, I really need to listen more.
Yeah, same feeling here. And choosing to listen to them, I think is probably one of the best things I ever done with my life. Yeah.
Same. The more I listen, the more I actually feel more connected to my soul. The more actually like what my soul like wants. Because
Mm.
sometimes, not saying it's hard to listen to my soul because I can listen to my body, but body's different from the soul. So it's
Mm.
just like, the records helps you really, like you said, it gets in touch with your actual true self because of the fact that, this body is not necessarily yourself. It's just like a player that you picked in this life,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yes.
your soul chose this player to learn lessons and
Yeah.
things of that nature. And so when I learned that, and I learned that in the records too, and it's like when I learned that, I was just like, wow, like that makes a lot of sense because I felt like people have different past lives just for lessons. And it's like, but your soul is eternal. Like if you have to learn something, then they're gonna make it's like an MMORPG. It's like you literally choose a character, you choose its characteristic. Do you want to have 3+ charisma, or do you want to
Yeah.
have like a good fighting skills, stuff like that? It's over whatever you choose. You can even gain skills, but it's like this person still, they die after a while, and then you get reborn into someone else or something else.
Mm.
You could
Yeah.
be an ant next time, or a blade of grass. There's some grass now.
Yeah. I love the perspective. I really love that. To see how life is an game. Yeah, it's like, okay, so now we are in this game, in this character,
Yeah,
and now we're done with it. You can play the next game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever you heard have you heard of The Sims?
The Sims. I have heard of it. I have not played it. I
Okay,
mean, my
so it's pretty much like it's like you just control a bunch of people, right? And it's so
yeah.
funny because I was talking today about how like we play The Sims in a simulation. Like, do y'all know how funny that is? Like, they could be real. And somebody was like, "Oh my god, don't say that," because I've been killing people. I was cracking up laughing because I was like, I try not to think about it because sometimes I kill off my Sims because there'll be too many, and I'm like, dang, that's what they be doing to us. Like I was like, this is terrible.
We're exactly doing it here.
Like, and then I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like we're all like programs, and it's funny because we're like all computerized programs, but
Mm.
it's not like how we look at it, but it's also like how we look at it because things glitch. Like I've seen, and when I look out, sometimes I've seen things glitch. There's been a few times where things look super pixelated. One time, there's one time I was out with my partner, and the trees literally look really pixelated, and I was just like, why do these trees look like this? And she was like, I don't know. They look like really pixelated, like in a video game or something. And I was like, yeah, like it was weird. Like, and I was just like, we're not even high. Like, we're just sober. Like, like we're very sober. And I was like, yo, these trees don't even look real. Like, what? These trees look like made up.
Yeah, I have not really experienced it, but I think there are more than a few times I just like, how real is this reality? Like it just like
Yeah.
comes to my mind. It's like, how real is this reality? No one knows.
Yeah, no
Like
one
we can,
really knows.
but one thing about that is that after I came back from that past life self, the meeting immediately came back here. It just feel that reality is more real than here. Like that one is
Mm.
more compared to this.
You know what? That makes sense because there was a past life of mine that was on Sirius,
Mm.
and because I'm like half Syrian, and I have such a strong tie to that place, and I felt like that place was so like watching Avatar, which is like the blue people planet stuff like that. I felt like that place was so real. I was
Mm.
like, yo, I feel so connected to this movie, and my partner did too because she's also Syrian, or like she has a lot of past lives that are from there, and
Mm.
so I was just like, man, like that feels more. It's like the way they act with the planet, the way how the planet is so real there, and everything glows, everything touches, everything moves, stuff like that, and everything has a vibration. And it was like crazy because I was like, honestly, on this planet, it's the same way. It's just that we view it in such a nonsensical manner. It's like, everything moves and everything vibrates. Like the trees have feelings, like they really do. And a lot of people, I think, forget about that because you can't hear them. But I'm like, no, trees be speaking, like they really do. Like I literally talk to trees. I'll go out into this park
Mm.
and I talk to this tree, this one specific tree with my partner, and we call her Grandmother Willow, and it's from Pocahontas because my partner is pretty much Pocahontas. It's kind of weird, um, but we'll talk to her, and she'll give us like all this wisdom and stuff like that. We actually need to go visit her again. Um, but yeah, like I'm just trying to get COVID, like because there's so many people at these parks. I'm like, oh, y'all coming from nowhere, like. But yeah, like it's just really interesting because the records will tell me like how much everything vibrates and moves together to form like a bond with one another and things of that nature. Like we have bonds with trees, just like we have bonds with each other, but we don't see it because some of us are still stuck in this mindset that we're better than like certain species when we're not.
Very, very true. That's remind me of like, when I look at the life back in Lyra,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember how at some of the planet on Lyra that when the kid is born, they give them a seed which they can, grow, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the tree will grow along with the kid, and the tree once is like reach, like both of them reach a certain age, they can come to an agreement whether this tree will grow into a house for them or how it looks
Oh,
and so on. It's so cool. Like, yeah, Lyra is very beautiful. I love it. Like everything that they use in the house is from that seed. That's what I said.
wow.
It's from that seed. Like, the
Yeah.
tree will grow into a table, it will grow into a bed, it will grow into like, I was just like, where is that? That seed. Like, can I get one so I can just buy a
No, for
land and
real.
get get
It's
the
funny. That reminds me of a book. There's a book that I read, and I love this book. It's called The Giving Tree, and it's pretty much about a tree that
Mm,
gives to this little boy, and this tree
mm,
gave everything to this little boy. It gave him a house, a boat, like
mm.
branches to make like certain things and stuff. Like literally just everything. Like this tree loved the little boy, and
Yeah,
once the little boy was old, they even gave them a seat to die on, pretty much. And
yeah,
then the boy, yeah. And I was like, wow. And I was always attracted to this book. It's like a children's book, and I still read it because it made me realize how much the planet like gives back to us without conditions and stuff
mm,
like that, and like how we really should take better care of it.
yeah. We should. Like, yeah, sometimes I just like connect to Mama Gaia and just like, talking to her too.
Mhm.
And I find that she is very forgiving. She definitely is. She's just like, whatever you guys do to us is do to me. It doesn't really matter. That's how the Mama Gaia really feels.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, it's cool. Everything is just cool. Yeah, but yeah, maybe like, if you can help with this, it will be better. That
Mhm.
helps me to provide more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you're like gonna cut down trees, like for
Mm,
developments, like to build houses for people that need them, then at least
mm,
plant them somewhere
mm,
else. Like plant them in a certain area, stuff like that. That's actually something I want to do too. One day is like start replanting of trees, especially in forests because there's so many forests. Like the Amazon forest, a lot of that is burnt up or got demolished and stuff like that. And so I really want to do that. Hopefully I feel like people are doing that more or they're trying to, but
yeah.
it's hard because a lot of people don't like want to do the work to do the plant the trees. I'm like, yeah, it's hard taking. It can be very tedious work to take
Yeah.
care of the planet, but it's worth
Mm.
it because it gives back and stuff like that. Like,
And yeah, I just want to highlight is that Mama Gaia doesn't even like she said, she's like she can heal herself, it's okay, but if you take care of her, she can better take care of us. That is
yeah.
where she comes from. So every time I hear that, I'm just like, wow, this planet is so giving after everything that we done to her. All
Hmm.
she does is she wants to take care of us.
Yeah. because we live there. So she's like, look, I don't mind taking care of you guys, but it would be
Mm,
nice if you just do something for me, like just even if it's a little bit, for just
mm,
like a short period of time. I feel like we're going to get to that part, to that eventually. I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime, but I do feel like we're going to eventually, because it's, you know, how everything comes full circle all the time, like history. So I do feel like it's going to come to that time where we are going to have to take care of the planet at one time.
yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to see that, but I'm not sure whether I'll be here to see that as well or not.
Yeah, I know. Everything's still moving kind of slow. It's super weird. Like I feel like technology's moving really fast, like really fast, but
Mm,
environmental studies, like things of that nature are kind of moving like slow. But I also feel like it's cuz people aren't listening.
mm,
I feel like you kind of need people to listen in order to like for it to be heard or spread or anything like that.
exactly.
Where yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to this planet. Like I love this planet because you know I'm here, so why not? But um, you know we can help each other over time. It's just gonna take some time.
Yeah. And like I feel that so much. Yeah, Kai, I think it's late for you.
Oh,
Uh,
it is
yeah.
kinda
So
like
yeah, I'm thinking that I should let you go for today, and
yeah,
yeah, we can arrange another day if you still want, like if you still
yeah, of course,
interested in about the records, and there are a lot of things that we get yet to explore, like the galactic records and so on,
yeah,
which I'm very interested to talk about. So yeah,
yeah. We
bye.
could definitely, yeah, we could
Yeah,
definitely pick a time. Yeah.
yeah. So like at the closing, would you like to do you have anything that you want to promote? Anything that you know you want to say to everyone?
Yeah, of course. So you know, just subscribe to my Patreon. You know, I go in there and I talk about a bunch of stuff, usually astrology, sometimes esoteric, and sometimes just like tarot things and things of that nature. So subscribe to my Patreon at Kaia Sinclair. Also follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Kaia Sinclair as well. You usually find my work more on Twitter though. Yeah. So if you want to
Mm,
follow me on there, that's totally fine. I love that. And it was just so nice and happy to be here. You know, we had a good conversation.
yeah, definitely. I think that we kind of like went off the grid quite a bit, but it is a very interesting conversation, and there's just so much that we can connect to. I loving it so much. Like, yeah, welcome back next time, and
Yeah,
have another
definitely.
conversation.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
I will have all Kai's link under the video as well as in my blog, so feel free to check them out. And thank you for joining us at live, and thank you, Kai, for joining me on Slice of Life. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
too.
sharing the story with me.
Thank you.
See you soon and take care. Okay, get some good rest.
Oh, you too. Oh wait, no. Like, or you have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah, see you soon.